Welcome back now. This is still the POLITY, and we're reaching you live from the Abuja studios of Kaftan TV. I've been joined by a public affairs analyst, Richard Oriri, and with him we are going to be analyzing some of the major headlines, some of the major news making the rounds. You're welcome to the program, Mr. Richard.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, a lot has been happening, in the POLITY over the weekend and during the past week. Top of it is President Tinubu's visit to Qatar to discuss various economic forums and investments, and also the directive to implement the OROSANYE's report, which the OROSANYE's recommendations, which is geared towards cutting down on the cost of governance, merging of federal government parastatals, commissions and agencies, and this has been met with a lot of mixed reactions by well-meaning Nigerians. Some have commended the move, and some have described it as a diversionary tactics by the President Tinubu's administration to shift attention from the biting hardship the Nigerians are facing at the moment. Because if we come to look at it, the government of the day trying to make efforts to cut down on the cost of government, but if we look at the government itself, it feels more like a smoke screen, because this same Tinubu administration has appointed the highest number of ministers, created more ministries. What are your thoughts on this whole Stephen OROSANYE's committee in the first place?
Thank you very much, Mr. Francis, for inviting me.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, viewers, or good evening, viewers. What is there is that the OROSANYE report, I think, is in order, and from my analysis of the report and the way the current administration is going about it, as into implementing it, I think at the end we will all rejoice, because there are so many reports in the past that did not see the light of day. And if today we have government that have the political will to implementing a report of this nature, that the entire country will applaud, I think is going to be of benefit to the whole country. And from the OROSANYE report, I got to understand that during the implementation, it's a policy. It's a public policy already, and the next stage now is the implementation of the report submitted to government. And in the report, from what I discover, FCT at the end will be in the North Central. Will be in the North Central. State like Kwara will be around the North West. Okay. So FCT from the report will have to have their own governor. Just like Lagos State, when we have a federal capital territory in Lagos, they used to have their governor, and FCT will still remain FCT, but they will produce governor, and that is a shift from the old order to a new order. And there are so many other things around the report that, if at the end implemented, Nigerians will see that a lot will happen that will benefit the entire country. And I pray that they have that political will to doing it. And because if they do it, we will all benefit from it. Yeah,
talking about this report, this presidential committee on restructuring. Now, there are quite a number of burning issues in that very report, and it's borders on cutting down on the cost of governance, which I was expecting you to speak to. Cutting down on the cost of governance. This is the same administration that has appointed 47 ministers, the highest of any president since the return to democratic rule in 1999. And most recently most recently, the same government approved 500 million naira for a 37-man committee to look into the the issue of the minimum wage. What are your thoughts on this? Because Nigerians are really concerned. Nigerians are really paying keen interest to these issues as they are unfolding, because at the end of the day, Nigerians are saying that this is a tactic to shift the attention of Nigerians from the burning issues of hunger, from the burning issues of the fact that the take-home pay of Nigerians is not really taking Nigerians home. Again, from the burning issues of the fact that Nigerians can barely feed right now. What are your thoughts on this?
Yes, some Nigerians will be agitating that there's so much going into servicing our legislators, servicing our ministers, the executive managers, and going to the judiciary. There's so much going on there. And if you want to talk about the civil service, which is the engine house of every administration, every government all over the world, the civil service, they are the engine house, and the powerhouse. If you are to liken them to the vehicle we drive, the brain box of every government. Merging some ministries doesn't mean necessarily that the governance, the cost of governance will be reduced. And somebody came up with the idea of Nigeria going back to parliamentary system the other time at the house of the lower house of the National Assembly, the House of Representatives.
Talking about
a bill like that is going on there, that we should operate a parliamentary system now. I talked about that like twice on this platform, that no, it's not just about shifting from presidential system to parliamentary system. That is our problem. System. The problem we are having basically is mindset. The problem of unpatriotic citizens who find their way into governance. That is the major issue that we are having. If you look at India today, India practices a parliamentary system of government, and the parliamentary system is thriving in India. And what they have basically is they call it how do I put it, secularism, secular democracy in India. India have quite number of religion more than Nigeria. They have quite number of different ethnic groups more than Nigeria, and but they have managed democracy in India, because they have leaders, they have people who come to government to serve, who have the value of their country at heart. But in Nigeria, we don't have leaders that come on board to leading the nation, that have one thing that they can point at as the value system of this country. In India, the value system of India is human capital development. If you look, see China too as well, their value system is about homegrown economy, not about buying the idea or concept of anybody from any part of the world. Like you talked about the president visiting Qatar, wooing investors into the country, but we should have gone beyond that now in Nigeria. We have to be thinking along the same line with China. We have to be thinking along the same line with China. You know, in the there's one policy of this international financial institution of 1989, they call it the Washington Consensus. That Washington Consensus has actually put us in the position that we are today in the country. The Washington Consensus talked about privatization of public goods, and once such a thing happen, there will be massive job unemployment in the society, and the opening your border, opening your market for external goods to come in while you have homegrown. We are now currently depending on a foreign products.
But then the issue at hand here now is the fact that a lot of Nigerians are saying that bringing the Stephen OROSANYE's report at this moment, at this time when Nigerians are crying for hunger, is more like trying to divert the attention of Nigerians.
There is no issue of diversion. Every government that come on board, the issues on the front burner of discussion now in Nigeria, there are too many issues. Issues of agitation, like that they should restructure the country. Also, a report is about restructuring almost everything, virtually everything. Is still part of what the people want. Now government is coming up with policies that may likely serve the interests of the people of Nigeria, because once you don't have the support of the masses as a government, then you have lost legitimacy. And the government is doing everything possible to see that they have that legitimacy of the people. And coming with this from the report of the report presented to the government by this committee, OROSANYE report committee. Now the current administration, they want to come up with that concept of, say, in the past there have been reports like this, no implementation. So we have to implement this, and to implementing this, you know that this also report that some gladiators within the political system who are already seeing that the current administration have the willpower, the political will to implementing this report, they are already fighting it already. If you look at what is happening, they are already fighting it.
So what are what are the specific pointers that made you say some political gladiators are already fighting the implementation of this policy?
They are already fighting it because you may not know what will happen if they said regions should feed themselves, states should feed themselves. If the report in the report there's something like that, and if the government is bold enough to implementing it, let's say the Niger Delta people will go home now and harnessing their natural resources, selling and giving back to the center, instead of the center selling and giving back to the states. So there are some states that if such happen, they will lose out. They will lose out. And I thank God in the North Central where I come from, there's already oil exploration possibly going on now in Niger State, in Nasarawa State, and there's another one too that is about to take off in around the Meduguri, Borno State area. So even if you go to Benue State, you will see that if they go for oil exploration, this upstream sector of the NNPC, if they go around these areas where we have enough water, like Benue State, Kogi State, and all of these states within the North Central, we have oil and we have gold in abundance in some other part of the north. But there are still some parts of this country that doesn't even have enough natural resources that can sustain them. So some of these things are things that is already agitating them, some gladiators, and who are trying now to fighting the implementation of this OROSANYE report. So, but to me, we should leave it open for the government, because they know what is the mindset of this of the citizens, and if they see that implementing this report will bring peace to this country and will bring development, I don't see any reason why they shouldn't implement it. So If they say all states should go back to their state, every person should go back, go to your governors, go and harness what is within your reach and feed yourself. Fine and good. It will put all of them back to work.
Talking about this development now and national growth, let's look at the president's visit to Qatar recently, where a couple of agreements has been signed on education, investment, and others. And the president has boldly declared that Nigeria offers the best return on investments. What are your thoughts on this before we get to other issues as regards the visit?
Any visit now that will not resolve the issue of poverty and unemployment in Nigeria, any visit by our president to any foreign body that will not solve the problem of unemployment and the serious poverty in the land doesn't worth it. If the investors are coming to invest in education, that should be basic education, because we have not gotten it right in our educational system at the local level, because that is where the poor masses, that is where that is the only education that can serve the poor masses. And if you don't get it right from the primary level, secondary level, the workforce will not have any effect, because anybody coming from that level, even if you go to manage your way to go to university, you will not be employable. And that is our major problem in this country. Once we can get it right from the primary education level, then I think we will get it right. If you go to China, go to India, the primary education is their basic interest. Their key interest is on primary education. They guide their citizens from that point where, when they are coming up. Now, technology rule the world. In our primary education system, secondary education system, we can take our citizens through all of that area. As they are coming out, they will be self-employed, and at the end, feeding their families. You see, Nigerian youth, Nigerian women, they are the most vulnerable in our country today, and there is no proper policy that can address these issues in this country for now. No proper policies that can address these issues for now. The only proper policy of the government that I have seen is like this 25,000 palliative given to freely given to Nigeria, which is not, it can't solve any problem. Like in the past, when we were growing up in the 80s, community leaders, traditional leaders, they used to set up committees in the community. Once it's 7:30 and they see any child just moving around the community and you are not in school, they will arrest you, force you to school. And if they take you to school, there's punishment that you are going to face. You understand? But today, nobody do that again.
So in a nutshell now, what you're saying is whatever
any investment that is coming to Nigeria should be geared towards proper growth.
Should be geared towards
our economy,
right from the
microeconomy, microeconomy growth.
All right,
that is all we want.
All right, I'm still talking about the president's visit to Qatar. He said, and I would want to quote him here. He said, "Do not offer a bribe to any of our people, and if it is requested or taken from you, report to us. You will have access to me. Nigeria will no longer be defined by the past, but by what we do now and moving forward. Do not let perceptions become a hindrance to your will to invest. Nigeria is serious about revolutionizing investment promotion." What are your thoughts on this? Because quite a number of Nigerians have had very different opinion on this. Some Nigerians have said in the president's bid to market Nigeria in the positive light to the world, he ended up demarketing Nigeria by trying to portray Nigerian government officials as a corrupt Nigeria as a corrupt nation, and its officials too as corrupt. While some have said it's actually projecting the president's willingness to actually attract investment from a sincere point of view. What are your thoughts on this?
Saying it or not saying it, anybody at all knows that if you are coming to Nigeria, you must something must pass something must pass through under the bridge before you can succeed. Like today, the MTN that we are enjoying in Nigeria today, people like Professor Jerry Ghana and some other key government officials, then they were the people that brought MTN from South Africa into Nigeria during the President Olusegun Obasanjo's administration. Until today, they are still benefiting from MTN. They have their percentage out of MTN. There is no how anybody going out to anywhere to bring in investors into the country. Even the president that is talking there, there's some other officer, cabinet members that would definitely have interest in the investors coming into the country. Even if they are not giving cash to any person openly, they must definitely build in their interest into whichever investment they are bringing into the country. But my own take is that Nigerians, we should learn how to develop what we have internally, like China are doing. We should learn how to, like bread. Price of bread has gone up to about 1,600. Soon now it will be 2,000 naira.
Okay, just for the want of time, in your opinion, do you think he ended up demarketing Nigeria rather than portraying Nigeria on the positive light? In just one sentence. On both sides he was right. On both sides he was right. Even if he said it or he did not say it, they know that coming to Nigeria, you must do something to succeed in Nigeria. Thank you very much for your time. Our time is already fast spent, and we really do hope that you find time to join us again on the program for more extensive discussions. Once again, thank you very much for your time.
It's my pleasure.
And you've heard it all from Mr. Richard. Any investment coming to Nigeria at this moment, it has to benefit Nigerians right from the grassroots at the micro level. And this is where we draw the curtain on today's episode of the program. Do well to join us again, same time, same station tomorrow. My name is Francis Adeniyi.